Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends, how's it going? Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi, my name is Teresa. If you know me, you will know that I love all things makeup and beauty. So obviously this channel is dedicated to all of that. And today I am looking at a new makeup release. Well, it's new to me. It is the Nomad Cosmetics Ghost Town USA palette. It's part of their Halloween collection. It has that fabulous lenticular packaging. You will have already seen my swatching Sundays where I showed this across lots of different light, including natural light. But this is what the palette looks like. And today's video is just very simple. It is a tutorial of this particular eye look. And most importantly, it's a review to let you know whether or not this is worth spending your money on. So if that sounds like something you are interested in, then do please keep on watching. So full disclosure, this is not actually the first time that I am playing with this palette. So I've kind of tried a couple of the mattes and the shimmers, etc. And I do already have a general idea of what I think of them. But my friend Daniela was like, why don't you try and do this particular look? And she sent me on a screenshot and I kind of decided I'd do my own thing with it. So yes, this is a tutorial and it's a review, but just know that even though I've only used like 5 shades in this palette, I can still give a review because I have tried this outside of that. But anyways, let's get into it. I'm taking this Beauty Bay brush and I'm going into this fabulous shade here. It's kind of quite a sage one and it's called Ghost Town. And I am just shoving that all over the lid. It's a very simple look, but I figured, why not? It looked kind of interesting and I liked the idea of like this kind of a double wing. Did I kind of exactly copy the look that Daniela sent me on? No. I kind of like took inspiration from. I didn't do like an exact like copy. So I'll show you the picture now of what it was that she sent on and you'll see it's not really similar at all. I kind of was like, oh, I'm doing my own thing with this. But you can see you're getting a nice level of pigment here with this particular shadow. And let's be real, it's very difficult to get these sort of sagey shades of green. They're very difficult to find, so I'm kind of excited that this palette has that. It does take a little bit to build, but personally I quite like that because it means I can like disperse and kind of blend things. So I'm just kind of shoving that all over and onto the lid as well and just kind of working it out. Now I decided I'd put on like a white sort of a primer. I put it on a P. Louise, which is, I know, very unusual for me. Normally I'm like a MAC paint pot gal, but I kind of figured, well, I had the P. Louise there on my desk, use what we have, let's just be smart about it. So you can see there, it's kind of building up quite a bit. I love that it's like matching the hoodie that I'm currently wearing. So literally just building it up. So you can see here there is actually a very good level of pigmentation here, which I was quite impressed with because it's a light colour. These are usually difficult to kind of get to that point, so well done them. I am now taking this blank canvas E10 and I'm going into this shade Skinner's Saloon. So it's quite a light grey. So you can see here I am essentially doing what can only be described as like the laziest version of like a halo eye, but not really. I'm kind of doing my own thing with it. As you can see with this one, really good level of pigmentation here. I'm not having to like work too hard with it to get it to show up, which again kind of makes sense because it's on a lighter shade, but still I think it's really nice. Can I say something? Well, yes, of course I can. It's my channel. When I saw them initially sneak peeking this and they were showing them like a shade at a time, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this. It kind of looked a bit weird. But then when I saw it all together and I saw the swatches on their site, etc., I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. I understand what's happening. And I gotta say, I just think this is such an unusual sort of a Halloween palette. Like the kind of, well, cliche of Halloween is like, here's an orange, a purple, a green, maybe a yellow. I like that they totally went away from that. And I feel like this palette really nicely kind of complements their existing Halloween palette from last year, which was their Haunted Europe. And I love the packaging, it's really cute. So you'll notice that with this, a little of this goes a very long way. Like, you don't need a lot, and I would say kind of tap off excess here just to make your life a little bit easier. I love my small blendy brushes. How many can I have? I mean, as many as I could possibly fit into my house, frankly. I love them. You can see this is a very kind of cool toned grey. It's very blue. Is there a warm toned grey? That's a very stupid thing to say, Teresa. Oh well, just having one of those days. But yeah, getting a really nice level here. I'm taking another blank canvas E10 and I'm going into the shade Calamity Jane, which obviously is making me think of the musical, and I haven't seen that in like a million years, and it's such a good musical. I love how, like, when you look back on it now, it's like really clearly queer coded and you're like, ah, you wily minx. It's so good though, so good. I must watch it again. I wonder, is it on like Disney or anything like that? I love a good musical. Actually, comment down below what your favourite musical is, because if you're into musicals, let's be friends. I love a good musical. Actually, at the moment, this isn't a musical, but there's a musician called Ren, and I have been obsessing over his stuff. Like, he's so talented. It's actually a smidgen frustrating, you know, one of those people. But I'm loving his music. It's actually just so fabulous. He kind of like does a mixture of like rap and song, which I know sounds really strange, but it's really good. Now to just further emphasize that shade, I'm going back in with the Beauty Bay shade to that green shade, which is called Ghost Town. I'm terrible at remembering these things. And I am just kind of smacking it on again because I don't want to lose that kind of level of pigment. And I don't want to have the darkness take over, which is also a metaphor for me and my mental health. So as I said, this is crazy easy. I am now using a Zoeva 238. You know me, I love that. And I'm going into the shade Dead Man's Hand. So all I can think of is, you know, that bit in Hocus Pocus, Dead Man's Nose, or is it his toes? Yeah, so it's that time of year. I'm here for it. Now, obviously this is packing on a lot of colour, but I'm essentially almost like cutting it out with this shade, or with this brush. And it just is such a fabulous shade. Like, it's very, very pigmented. By the way, I'm going very, very light-handed here, because I'm like, oh, it's easier to add than it is to take away, in case you're wondering. But I mean, look at how easily that builds up. Like, that's ridiculous. Not having to work at it at all. God, I love it when I don't have to work at things. In case you didn't know this about me, I am a lazy. I know, so hard to believe. But I mean, look at that. Absolutely no issue getting it to build up. I actually just like it just like that. But then I think adding on that shimmer is like crazy. I'm contemplating popping on this glitter that I got from Lit Cosmetics as well, because, you know, why not? In for a penny, in for a pound. And I'm just kind of cutting it out here as well. Just kind of popping it like this first, and then I will do the little wings as well. Kind of afraid to do that in front of you guys because I feel like I will just fuke it up. Of course I will. Stop looking at me. Again, I mean, look at that. I can almost blend it out with this brush. I love this brush so much. I think I have 3 of them just because they rule my life. I love them so much. Now, let's see if we can try and get this to mimic the other side. I say this as if I can see what I'm doing. My God. So I'm kind of getting it to match the brow, or meet the brow rather. My goodness. And then what we're going out here? Ah, that'll do. That'll do. I don't know what's happening. I know it looks like really rough at the moment, but look, it's fine. Because guess what? If you don't like the makeup, you can just wash it off. It's not that deep. So now all I'm doing is just taking a Morphe M562 and just gently swishing and blending. I know, I'm taking a little bit of the harshness off, but I will be adding some of the harshness back. I know, hard to believe. And don't worry about this being a little bit like thick, because that's what makeup wipes are for. You can see, part of why I'm doing this as well is to just show you how they blend, and do they actually blend? Is there any issue with them? I feel like, I know they had reformulated their mattes, and I liked their mattes before. However, I think these are so much better. Whatever they've done to them, continue to do it. It is 1,000 times better. And I love seeing brands actually doing that. Like, yeah, okay, it's not broken, there's nothing wrong with it, but let's try and make sure that it is a little bit better. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when a brand does that, I'm like, okay, fantastic, you've got me, I'm here, I'm on this ride with you. The fact that you're actually attempting to innovate and make things better, here for it. Obviously, I've lost some of the kind of green pigment on the inside. I'm taking the Beauty Bay brush again and going back into Ghost Town. And again, just smashing that on there and kind of just gently blending, swishy swishy, nothing major. And just to define further, I'm taking this Away 238 again and going back into Dead Man's Hand. I would actually love to see this brand do like maybe like gel liners or something, like little pots of liners. I think that could be really interesting. Like if they took some of the shades that are in their palettes and kind of made some gel liners to go with it, like maybe 1 or 2. I know this is really weird of me to like say make the collection bigger, but I think it could be really interesting, because so far when it comes to their brand, although I'll be kind of doing a video later, it does seem they're doing skincare stuff, but so far they have predominantly stuck with eyeshadows. I know they had highlighters, etc. at one point, but I would love to see them kind of change things up a bit. Like that could be quite cool. So this is where the glitter comes in, and all I'm doing is I'm just taking my finger and I'm going into the shade Quicksilver. Now I'm going at this very, very light-handed, as you can see. Like I've already managed to like screw up some of the embossing, which honestly kind of hurts my little heart, and I'm just tapping it on, like really not doing much with it other than that, like really just very, very lightly bringing it up towards the brow. As I said, it's a very, very simple look, but I kind of like it. And I love that this is again like a silver that has a very clear link in with the blue. Kind of pop a bit more here. Just love that there's that sage color in there. And I mean, I could leave it at that and it'd be like really quite impactful, like, because that shimmer is kind of doing all the work. I mean, I know I haven't even put down like a glitter glue or anything like that. This is just going on as is. But because I love tempting fate, I think I'll put some like other glitter on there as well. Now all I'm doing is taking this Morphe M562 and just dispersing a little bit, not much, just a little bit, particularly around here. And I will be kind of adding it again. I just want to make sure it's relatively even, although there's much more here, obviously. And that's grand. That's kind of what the intention had been. And again, just taking a little bit more of Quicksilver and just shoving it on. So you can see you're getting a good amount of nice sparkle there. And just finishing up again, going back in with that Zoeva 238 and going into Dead Man's Hand, which is that dark blue again. And just kind of want to make sure that I'm not losing all of that pigment and all of the kind of shape that I built up there. That would suck. As much as I love the sparkles, I want to retain a little bit of that, you know. I just feel like this all blended really, really well. This is where I really have to make sure that I'm keeping the shape along here. I love doing lazy looks, you know. Minimum effort. Let's go at it, lads. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. I do love just how easily that turns up on the eye. I gotta say, I feel like if they did a gel liner in this colour, it could be really pretty. Not that Nomad Cosmetics watches me, but you know, if you did, lads, that's my suggestion for you, please and thanks. Start looking into like some interesting gel liners, because I feel like it's mostly just Melt that kind of does that, and they're kind of hit or miss, and I feel like you could really do something interesting there. And again, just taking another Morphe M562 and just kind of blending here that a little bit further so there's more of a graduated exposure. But I mean, that's essentially it. It's a nice and easy one. I'm going to be bringing down a line here, I think, maybe, we'll see. But I quite like the way that this is looking. It's pretty. I'm going to clean up, I think, along here as well. But yeah, that's essentially it. I will come back and show you the finished look. I finished off the rest of my makeup, as you can see, and I quite like the way that this eye look came out. I put sort of like a liner down below to mimic the picture that Daniela had sent me. Again, I'm going to insert this here so you can see what it looked like, but I'm going to zoom you in now so you can see it a little bit better. All of my lovely glasses wearing friends are like, oh, the curses of wearing glasses, because it hides a lot of this, but you can see how lovely. You get a great level of depth here, and you can see that sort of line that I did underneath. I think it's kind of interesting. Are they the most clean double lines? No, not really, but hey, guess what? It's makeup. It all washes off. I'm going to show you this now with only a single light on it so you can see the sparkles a little bit better. So I figured I'd show you what this looks like under just one ring light. If you hear pitter patter, it's because Cece is in the room. She's exploring. I'll zoom you in now so you can see some of the sparkles a little bit better. So you can kind of see the detail a little bit better here in terms of the sparkle, and you can also see what I've kind of done with the eyeshadow, bringing it under here as well. I feel like it gives a really nice level of sparkle here as well. And I feel like the shape, although it's simple, I think it looks quite nice. So as I said before, I have already tried this palette before, so this isn't exactly a first impressions. I used 5 of the shades, and it's quite a big palette. There's 18 shades, so I didn't even use a third. But I feel you can already see it works really, really well. You get a great level of opacity here, and like the shimmers are really, really very nice. I feel like they've really improved upon their formula. The mattes are stunning. The shimmers, very, very nice. I don't think there's any multi-chromes in here, or at least maybe this one is slightly, yeah, this one is a bit of a multi-chrome. But in all, I mean, this is such a beautiful shade as well. I have enjoyed playing with this palette. I really couldn't wait to sit down and do a little video with you guys on this. So in terms of what I actually think of it, I think that the fact that they have reformulated their mattes, I never thought there was an issue with them initially. However, this is like a reformulation for the better. I really, really enjoyed this. The shimmers are still as good as they always have been. There's no major fallout, I have to say. Really, really great for me. You can get to that level of precision. Brilliant. Blends beautifully. Pigmentation is there. All in all, just really, really good. In terms of a rating out of 10, I would give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, like I think it's really, really good. I think I'm just taking a mark off because I would have liked to have seen like 1 or 2 more slightly special shades, like a topper or something in there that could have really like elevated it further. But that's me being like extremely pernickety. And I hold Nomad Cosmetics to a slightly higher standard because I feel like with every launch they get a little bit better and a little bit better and a little bit better. So I'm just always looking for a little bit more from them. But I have to say, I think this was such an interesting Halloween release because it wasn't like the cliche, it wasn't the expected. I feel like this is a very versatile palette. There's still a little bit of like moodiness to it, a little bit of like a potential grungy moment, which if you know me, I really like. But all in all, fantastic palette. So happy to recommend it. Let me know if you guys got it and what did you think of it. Do you have the same sort of opinions as me? Because I am nosy. But my gorgeous friends, that is it. That is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate it. Do please like, comment and subscribe. I do always try to reply to comments. I'm a little bit behind at the moment, but I will try to get back. I always read them and I so appreciate it. You've no idea how much a comment like properly makes my day. I love it. Thank you so much for watching. Do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case just wrap it up. Don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.